Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Pat Voss, and welcome back to the Honesty Podcast. Of course, 5 days a week, you have our regular Q&A sessions, all the review videos during the week, and of course, here we have a very special interview for you. I know it's usually not on Saturdays, but we gave it a little bit early because we've got a big event to discuss for this Saturday in my hometown of Schaumburg, Illinois. But first, let's get to this special interview guest that I have for you. It's producer and actor Lorinzo Mccoy. How you doing, Lorenzo?
I'm good, Pat. How you doing today?
Good. And for those of you in Honesty Podcast land that don't know who Lorenzo is, Lorenzo, what is it that you do?
I am an actor and producer. I've been in several feature films and a few television series. Started out with a big film based out of San Francisco with a bunch of UFC fighters, and it was called Fist to Fist. Action movie. Then I ventured on into some work on television. I've been in episodes of The Beast with Patrick Swayze, the late great Patrick Swayze before he passed away, and several other projects. So currently we're getting ready to start production on a pilot for another series, and I'm looking forward to that one. It's going to be pretty fun.
Now, when you say, and I know you can't reveal a little too much, obviously you and I talked the other night, but as far as, producing and the production side of things, obviously you have worked with some great actors and actresses, and you've done certain TV shows as well. Now, on the production side of things, what is it that you're looking to accomplish? What is the main goal that you're looking to accomplish with doing handling this side of acting?
Well, actually, it's pretty much to grow my knowledge and experience in the field of acting. I didn't come into acting the traditional way. I wasn't someone who pursued a career in acting. I kind of fell into it. I was a martial artist and was actually working for the government when I fell into this. So once I got an offer that, just most people won't refuse. Basically, they saw me doing a seminar for martial arts, and they asked if I was interested in the movie, that they had a perfect role for me. And next thing you know, I was out in California filming.
I like that. I like that a lot. And see, this is the thing. Like, I come from for people that don't know me, that don't watch this podcast regularly, I come from a background of all radio. My dad was in radio for the city of Chicago for about 25 years. And then I worked for the local radio station, the Radio Shopping Show out in Elgin for about a year. But before that, I had run, Late Night Mix-Up, other shows. Now doing this show here, I love what the Honesty Podcast is now doing and kind of growing a little bit because of the type of people like yourself, and different entrepreneurs, different actors and actresses and sports figures that I'm able to interview on a daily basis. I really enjoy making these connections and networking, because you and I were discussing the other night that, networking is key. That is the biggest thing. And for you as a producer and an actor, that's the biggest thing for you as well. And I think my father says it best, and I know it's not his phrase, but it's said best, is it's not what you know, it's who you know, right?
In most cases, yes, definitely.
In most cases, right, correct. But that's the thing is as you network and as you grow, and this is a big hint to people out there, learn from myself and Lorenzo. If you want to grow in your respective field, or if it's a podcast or a show, or you're in some kind of entertainment, make sure you network properly. Don't just jump out and put your hands out to 500 people who you don't know who they are. You want to do a little bit of research before you go on and network. I mean, I think that's the smartest key to success, don't you?
Oh, I agree 100%. I think a lot of time even network leads to collaboration, and collaboration develops into something amazing at times. I've had the opportunity not only to network, but I am currently collaborating with people I used to watch on television and be like, oh my God, that's one of my favorite actors. And now, we're friends. So it's just one of those things. It's kind of surreal in the sense that, I never saw myself being here. And at the same time, I take it as a huge responsibility to do well in the craft out of respect for those who actually made this their lives. And it just does honor to not only the craft, but to them. And when you do take pride in what you do, networking becomes easy because people want to work with you. And when you take pride and put the work ethic behind what you do, great things can happen.
And I appreciate that outlook on it, because a lot of people think that just because, you're in a certain craft or you're trying to hone a certain craft, that if you network, then that's kind of, 90% of the work done. And that's not necessarily true. You need to make sure, like you said, to put the passion in. And if people see that you put the passion into the work that you do, they're more than likely going to be willing enough to work with you and collaborate with you. And speaking of collaborations, there's something huge going on. I teased this in the beginning of the interview here. There's something huge going on in my hometown of Schaumburg, Illinois. What is it? What's going down this Saturday?
Well, I am part of the collaboration, and networking led me into doing promotions for music, and currently promoting an event with the great hip-hop artist Twista. And we are hosting an event in Schaumburg this Saturday at a venue called Empty Barrels. And it's going to be a great show. I mean, everyone's excited about this thing. I have the fortunate pleasure to meet someone who's a legend in the industry. And again, these things come through networking, and some of the key things we've talked about throughout this conversation when it comes to putting the work in, and making sure people know, hey, I can work with this guy. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be great. I was a fan of Twista, coming up. He's an amazing act, and I love to. I love the opportunity to actually say I'm promoting something for him. So it's for me, it's a huge honor. I'm excited about it, and hey, you're going to be there too, so you'll get to see firsthand, why everybody's so excited about this guy.
Oh, yeah, and I can't wait. I mean, he was one of my favorite artists growing up, listening to Adrenaline Rush album, and then when I was in – so – the short little story here. When I was in high school, he put out Kamikaze, the Kamikaze album. And the Kamikaze album, I'm telling you, you go through a little bit of rough times. You listen to the first 2-3 songs of that album, and you feel like you're immediately pumped up. You're immediately, moving past whatever problem it is that you're dealing with, and at least in my experience. And then he put out that Day After album right after the Kamikaze album, and I really enjoyed that as well. So, listening to Twista for the majority, because I'm just south of 30, so listening to Twista for the majority of my lifetime, and then knowing and now meeting you and getting the network that way and being able to meet him as well, that's awesome. I love it. I love that I'm actually getting this opportunity in my lifetime to meet somebody like you said, the actors that you watch on TV, that all of a sudden you get to work with them, and it's a humbling experience. Like, holy crap, I hope I get this right. Like, I hope I don't screw this up.
Yeah, well, trust me, it's very humbling for me because I need to make it go well. So, yeah, I've got those butterflies going right now, and it's not like being on screen in front of the camera. That's, I'm okay with that. But when I have someone else's destiny, almost so to speak, in my hands, again, it just comes down to you want to do well. Out of respect for the craft, out of respect for the talent that you're dealing with, because they deserve your best. And I'm looking forward to it. And not to mention it, again, I have Shondell from Power 92.3. He's hosting it. So we got the radio station behind this thing, and it's going to be exciting. I can't wait, honestly. You might catch me out there in the audience dancing to so yeah, I might have to sneak away for a moment, but it's going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. And it's something, I know this is completely off topic, well, sort of. So you said Twista's you're a big fan of his, and seeing Southside guy there. I see that Sox hat, and of course, everybody that knows me knows I'm a huge Cubs fan.
Sorry to hear that. It's okay though.
And I like that about you, is that you were very honest about how you felt about it. The minute I said, "Oh yeah, my Cubbies finally won a World Series," first time I meet you, and 2 seconds later is, "Oh, you're a Cubs fan? Oh, oh."
It's you. I think we can both agree that at the end of the day we're Chicago fans, but without the crosstown rivalry, who would we be?
Right.
So
Without a crosstown classic, what is there to argue about?
Exactly. So we have to keep it exciting, keep it interesting for all the Chicago people. I don't know too many who wear both hats.
No.
But at the end of the day, I was happy to see the Cubs win it. It only took them a century, but hey, I've seen stranger things happen. So.
Yeah, I was pretty, not to say completely sour, because in 2005 I was only, a sophomore in high school. So I really didn't have a huge grasp over everything, as how deep it ran when the 90-some-year-olds are sitting there rooting for the Cubs and the Sox. So, I wasn't deeply rooted, but in 2005 when the Sox swept the Astros, I was thinking, well, crap, that could have been us from the NL Central getting out there. And I'm actually kind of glad that it wasn't the Cubs that year getting out there. And because I would hate to get swept by the White Sox, by the way.
It would have been bad.
That would be, I would have probably I would have to leave Chicago. I would have to go to Wisconsin or something.
We would have let you stay. I mean, we could have used some.
You could use extra bat boys at Comiskey.
Yeah, somebody to run the balls out. It would have been okay.
Oh, my God. Well, and I appreciate one of the things I wanted to, before we get off of here for the day, one of the things I wanted to run past you was where can people reach you if they'd like to get a hold of you, and as far as social media goes, and two, if you could be doing, and I'm just saying not that you would, but if you could do anything else other than what you currently do, what would it be? Other than martial arts, other than acting and producing, what would it be?
Wow, those are some tough questions. Other than be on a beach in Hawaii, you know what? I enjoyed my time working for the government. I'd probably be back in the Army overseas somewhere doing something to help people. I've always been raised to it's better to give than to receive. So, my mom instilled a lot into me when it comes to how to help others and how to be selfless. So before I ever put on a uniform, that was just something that I did. So I think it would be, I'm pretty comfortable with saying it would be back overseas helping out or somewhere here at home. I think a lot of times we forget about the charitable things that we can do here at home. And, I've been a part of a lot of helping in the community since I became part of the entertainment community. So I've had the privilege of working with people that, again, I grew up watching on television in the sports world as well as on TV. So I would be doing something in the capacity in which I would be helping others. I'm not, I'm not somebody who really cares about the limelight. And I figure if you have it, though, you may as well use it to help others.
Right.
And that's probably what I would be doing.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the honesty in that. And then thank you so much for your service, by the way.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was one of the greatest jobs I ever had the opportunity of doing.
I appreciate it. Now, the last thing, everybody knows, of course, I have to get mine out of the way. Of course, I want to push it out of the way here. It's Honesty Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. You can find me everywhere. Of course, you can find this up on my YouTube page for the Honesty Podcast. It's under construction now. It is called the Gaming Network. We had a transition period. Still same subscribers, still same great content for Honesty Podcast. I will be sending you the link. We'll be able to find it on his social media as well. But where can they find you, Lorenzo?
Oh, you can find me on Facebook. I'm not too huge into social media. I don't do the Twitter.
Twitter.
I'm not tweeting that often. I do have a Facebook. You can find me on Lorinzo Mccoy, and I also have an acting page for Lorenzo. And those are probably the best two ways to find me. And also, speaking of gaming, I just need to let everybody, all your viewers know, Pat and I actually had a pool game the other night, and we want to say the Sox guy won. That's
okay. We won't get the Sox guy one, but okay, we'll get the Sox guy one. Okay. I like that. I like that he teases that out there and then doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on Facebook also. So don't worry. I'll put the results of that game on Facebook.
I gotcha. Yeah. Hey, a scratch can save lives. But thank you, thank you so much, Lorenzo, for stopping by the show today. I appreciate you stopping in for an interview. Of course, you can catch Lorenzo out this Saturday along with myself and Twista, a rap god, man. I mean, a rap legend in Chicago and all around the nation. Catch him out at Empty Barrels in Schaumburg, Illinois this Saturday. Gates open at 5. Event starts at 7. Definitely get there. I mean, obviously, you're not guaranteed a ticket at the door, so I would definitely go ahead and preview that and get the tickets ahead of time if they're still available. They are going very, very fast. And, of course, I did post a link to my Twitter and my Facebook, and I will post up to the YouTube page in the description below.
Hey, Pat, before you go and before your fans go, when we get ready to start filming for the pilot episode of the project, since you're a big sports fan, I'm going to have all my cast and crew on your show. And if you'll have us, we'll sit down and talk to you about the program.
I definitely will. Yeah, I'd love to see a little teaser here and there about the pilot episode and see what's really coming in the future for Lorenzo and a lot of great collaboration there still to come. So thank you so much, Lorenzo. I've been Pat Voss. This is the Honesty Podcast. We'll see you next weekend for another great interview. And check it out here for great Honesty Podcast review episodes. We'll see you guys later.